Here's why you need to tune in right now. With CTR Media Network, you can transform your knowledge into a fully produced TV show. Imagine your content streaming on platforms like Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV, reaching over 350 million households in 140 countries. We take care of everything, from managing your ready-to-go content to global distribution. And it's not just any content, it's edutainment, a perfect blend of education and entertainment that keeps viewers coming back for more. You'll join a vibrant community of thought leaders, podcasters, and educators, all sharing a passion for impactful content and global reach. Plus, with our app available on Google Play and the App Store, your show will be accessible to millions more. Ready to shine on the global stage? Let's get you started. Schedule a 15-minute call with us today and turn your idea into a TV sensation. Reply to this video by saying, "I want to learn more." Don't wait, your audience is out there waiting.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to CTR Media Network TV. I am your host, Dr. TNJ Ramsey, and we are on location in DeKalb, Georgia, yes, for the Flourish Homeschooling Conference, interviewing parents, founders, educators, parents, and students, letting you see a different perspective, a bird's eye view from them, and they're sharing their stories and also letting us know what resources are out in the community that you may not know exist. I'm personally shocked on some of the things that I am hearing in an amazing, profound way, and I'm sure you're going to feel the exact same way. So this is not interviews that you just go back and just watch once. I mean, over and over and over again, because you're going to have to get all the gems. Well, today we have another fantastic guest, this beautiful smiling face to my right. Yes, she is here to share with us who she is and what she does. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Gina. I appreciate this. This is awesome.
I'm excited.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Listen, I want you to share with us who you are and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Natalie Mack, and I am a retired Navy chaplain spouse. I am a military homeschooler. We have been homeschooling for almost 24 years. We were serving for 34 years active duty, and we have 5 children. So I'm a mom of 5. We have, out of the 5, we have 4 that were homeschooled to college. They're all college graduates.
Yes.
Yay! And then we have, out of those 4, 2 finished graduate school already in international education and a master's in social work. And then the last one is in 12th grade. And so we are here with him at this conference. I'm a speaker here. And one of the benefits of homeschooling is he's been able to accompany me quite a bit to incredible places around the world, actually, to support homeschooling. So I'm really excited about that. And just thank you so much for the opportunity to speak.
Oh, no problem. I'm actually honored that you're here because all of that wealth of knowledge. You said over 20 years of homeschooling, and you also said military. So being able to maneuver that great responsibility, being a spouse or having someone in the military and having children.
Yes.
And then you decide to homeschool. Most people saying, they probably think to themselves, how she do? And, right?
Yeah.
And so what made you decide that homeschooling was going to be the route for your family's educational journey?
Well, we were living in Maryland at the time, and the 2 oldest at the time, we had 3 children then, a 9, 7, and 4-year-old. And the 9 and 7-year-old were at a Montessori school, private Montessori school. And so life was good. I was involved. I was a licensed mental health therapist then. But we kept meeting homeschoolers, and we were intrigued by what they were sharing about their journey. We saw the fruit in the children, and, you know, we really wanted to raise children who love learning and who were passionate about learning and who were confident learners. And the Montessori school was working pretty well, but I just felt like there was something more. And so I really feel that this is a path God honestly placed us on, and we haven't looked back. And that was right before 9/11. So I'm dating myself a little bit, but it was in 2001 we started homeschooling, and we're still rolling through. Yeah.
Wow. So what advice would you give to other military families that may feel that they want to start homeschooling,
Yes.
but they don't know how to start, or they don't really even think that they can because of the traveling,
Yes.
the moving around frequency.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because one of the main reasons military families choose to homeschool is because of the relocation and the constant moving. And so you can imagine that inconsistency in education, and also kids having to adjust to new brick and mortar schools, constantly new teachers, right? New environments, everything new every 2 or 3 years. And so to limit all that newness and all that adjustment, it's a definite option to be able to homeschool. So families have been doing that for a long time. There's a growth that's been happening post-COVID. So a lot of families, obviously, we know during COVID, they pivoted to what we call school at home, right? It wasn't homeschooling, y'all. So, but as a result, many families continued homeschooling or pivoted into actually homeschooling, and we see a continued growth. It's almost double the national average for military families. So if we're at about 8% nationally homeschool, it's about 16% in the active duty community that homeschool their kids. And one of the biggest reasons is that stability. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it straight.
My husband actually comes from his father was in the military, and so they travel quite frequently. And when we have conversations about it, he actually shared with me how he was in multiple schools.
Yes.
You know, so the fact that when you broke it down, it do make sense.
Yes.
If that's something on your radar, that homeschooling do make sense to keep that normalcy, to keep that balance, so that your kids will not feel like they have to start over.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the starting over that's really difficult on kids. And you know, there's this perception that military kids are really resilient, and they are. So the symbol of a military child is the dandelion, right? So it just replants and grows, and it just keeps going, you know. But there's that reality that if you don't have to take your children through that many adjustments, then why not look at homeschooling? And so military families are increasingly looking at that option. As a result, a couple of things I would share with the audience is, so I wear a couple of hats in the homeschool community because I am pro homeschooling, and I'll tell people I'm not anti-public school, but I am pro homeschooling. And so as a result, I have an LLC that helps families homeschool well. I love talking about that high school to college journey, that post-secondary piece. I love speaking on NCAA, helping families who have high school athletes who want to play in college, helping them navigate the process and getting eligible through NCAA. I also work or travel on behalf of a lot of the Army and the military branches to educate the recruiters about homeschoolers and homeschool transcripts, so that the barrier for families who have students who want to enlist is, you know, diminished, and we can get that cleared up. So if you have a child who says, I want to serve the country, I want to enlist, or even if they want to go to a military service academy or military college, I speak on that and love helping just explore options. College, you know, maybe college sports, you know, military service, just helping families see that there's a clear path there, because many families who have students, they've been homeschooling from kindergarten to 8th, they have a student who wants to play in college, a sport in college. Many families will make that decision right there at the beginning of high school. We're going to pivot back to a brick and mortar, because they are really concerned about, you know, failing that child, and that child has dreams to play a particular sport in college. People feel like I'm not capable of getting them into that process with the NCAA. So in order to play in college, you have to become eligible through the NCAA. And so that's a big piece. So I like helping families clear it up, and let's get it done is my motto. So let's get it done.
Listen, once again, jaw drop. I knew you was gonna do it. Like, okay, and you're right. We don't think about that until one of our children say, I want to play sports, and you're like, well, how can I do it? The only way that I know how to do it is probably put them back in public school, or put them into a program. And so here you're opening up this avenue of access to be able to keep homeschooling.
Yes.
And they still have access to sports.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so definitely. So depending upon the sport, and depending upon where you live,
Mm-hmm.
different states have different regulations about homeschoolers playing on a team. So that's the piece that you have to figure out and work
Mm-hmm.
through, right? You may have to pivot into like competitive sports or travel clubs
Mm-hmm.
or something for the actual sport activity. But even beyond that, if a student wants to play in college, they have to go through the NCAA Eligibility Center,
Uh-huh.
and they review all of the academics. And there's a process for homeschoolers to go and get that all reviewed and cleared, so your student gets an ID number, and then they still got to get accepted to the college. Now that's
Yeah.
that's they
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
show up, apply, submit that excellent transcript.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to play, they got to have that ID number, and that's the NCAA Eligibility Center. So, yeah.
To even have that information to know that it's a possibility.
Yes.
Of course, everything's gonna have certain, checklists, different things we have to have, but to know that the door is open.
The door is wide open. We had our youngest daughter out of the 5 loves soccer, was a kick butt soccer player. She is really, really dynamic on the field. And she told me when she was about 7 that she wanted to play Division I soccer, and we didn't come from a sports family. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like, what do you know at 7, right? She showed me what she knew, and she continued to perform on the field, to be a team player at home. Her academics were sound. We were overseas in Naples, Italy at that time living over there, and we went through the whole NCAA process, and so that's how I know how to speak about it. And I also am in close contact with the Eligibility Center, the homeschool, division. So yeah, just because I want to clear that up for families, especially in our community. Because if you have a student who really is doing well in homeschooling and you want to continue, but you're worried about that sports piece and how to get them cleared, please reach out. 'Cause don't pivot back to brick and mortar unnecessarily. If that's where you want to go, again, I affirm people making the choice that's right for their family, but don't do it for lack of information, right?
Yeah. And that is amazing. So with that being said, I heard you said you have an LLC.
Yes.
And as we can see, or as we heard, she wear multiple hats, from military to actually sports.
Yes.
And so I see that you have a book.
Yeah.
So I need you to we're gonna pivot.
Yeah.
Excuse me, we're gonna pivot into your book, and I want you to tell us more about your LLC.
Okay.
As well.
Okay. So the LLC is Natalie Mack LLC. On socials, it's Homeschool Natalie Mack. So you can recognize me on all the platforms, from TikTok to YouTube to Facebook, Instagram. And I also have a nonprofit, Military Homeschoolers Association, known as MHA, and it serves the military homeschool community, bringing together resources. So if you have a product or service you want to reach the military homeschool community, that is a hugely growing demographic of homeschoolers. We're looking for resources. We're looking for sponsors. We have programs to roll out to help military families on that journey, right? Because we need it. We need it desperately. And so I partner with school liaison officers, and I do a lot of training around the country. I went over to Germany 2 years in a row to support the European Homeschool Conference. And so don't forget the military families overseas, right? There's so many of them that are overseas who are needing support. You're over there traveling and enjoying, right? But at the same time, you're far away from the support that we enjoy here in the U.S. So that's MHA. And in the LLC, like I said, I do a lot of speaking. I'm here obviously under the LLC, speaking on mental health and well-being. Prior to homeschooling, I was a licensed mental health therapist. I did drug and alcohol, bilingual adolescent counseling for the Hispanic community, social work with the Army. And so I haven't practiced, so I don't have an actual practice. So please don't contact me for mental health therapy, but I can do education, and that's what I'm passionate is. Let's talk about that conversation. Let's open up that in the homeschool community, right? About mental health and well-being, and just what that looks like, and what are some warning signs that you can get ahead of in you as a parent or your child, right? And so so wear a couple of hats that I'm thankful God for the opportunity, right, to just come alongside homeschoolers in general. And so I wrote this book, 101 Tips for Homeschoolers. It's available on Amazon. It is, I got to 100 and I kept going to 101, but it's a journal style book. So with each tip, I write out my thoughts, and then I have a prompt, and then I have some space for you to journal and respond. And so people have told me it's so encouraging. The tips are not like sequential, meaning they don't build on each other. They are independent, standalone tips, so you don't have to feel like, oh, I got to read the whole book in one sitting. And then I did a TEDx almost 2 years ago called The Impact of Homeschooling. I think it's almost just short of 30,000 views. In April will be 2 years. So look that up. I've been told that's helpful too. I'm all about encouraging and saying, like, you can get this done. You just need community, you need a village, you need the information. Let's all rise together in homeschooling, because your kids doing well are my kids' peers, right? So we want to have graduates that are sound, holistically, educated well, and pro homeschooling, right?
Yes. And I did see a TEDx, and I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, I was
Thank
one of those
you.
30,000.
Thank you so much. I was surprised, like, wow. I was asked to do it by a homeschool friends who got a studio in Silver Spring, Maryland, a TEDx, and a license, and they said, hey, we would love for you to be our first TEDx. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. So, but God had a word, and it was good, great opportunity, and so I'm thankful to be able to do that.
I encourage you guys to Google it. Google her name. It will pop up about homeschooling. It was very good and very thorough. So you did an amazing job.
Thank you.
So what is it that you want our viewing and listening audience to know more? Is there anything else you would like to share, or any words of encouragement that you can give to that homeschooling mom that may want to give up, or she's contemplating homeschooling, but she just don't know where to start?
Right. I always say the number one tip in this book, and it's one I just always think of, and it's trust the process. I know it can appear daunting and scary, and it can be maybe intimidating, right, to think about being responsible for your child or your children's education. But I feel like parents are the best ones to do the best job possible, even when we don't do the best job, right? Like, so what does that mean? That means that we're always going to do much better than anyone else, especially a concerned, committed parent. That you're gonna show up for your child, and if you can't teach the class, there's plenty of resources, and there's a village out here. So find your community, reach out for support. I'm available. I offer free 30-minute consultation to just get you started, and then we can go from there. On my website, I have a homeschooling high school checklist for 9th to 12th grade. So I incorporated the College Board's Big Future program. So you can, and that's a free download. So on my website, Natalie Mack.com, you can download that free 9th through 12th grade homeschool checklist. And then if you're a military family, reach out on my military website, militaryhomeschoolers.org. And I have a free PCS homeschooling checklist, because PCS means permanent change of station, which is hilarious because there's no permanent. You're going to be moving, right? As your husband knows, you're going to be moving in every 2 or 3 years. So it's not permanent. That's the military being funny, right? But yeah, it's a checklist to help you homeschool and PCS well. So definitely. And I want to shout out my husband and his support over the years, being in the military and all the deployments and all, and just for us to have the ability to be a homeschooling family and one income and push through, and it's been a blessing. Our kids have said thank you. So that's a blessing to hear, like, thank you, Mom, for homeschooling. You know what I mean? Because the days can be long, so I'm not without awareness of how long the days can be, and sometimes you can feel isolated and you can't find community. But it has been a blessing for our family. I just want people to really, look into it and look at your options and reach out for support.
Yes, I encourage that. Reach out for support. Don't be on the island by yourself.
Don't be out. There's no reason.
There's no reason. It's so many of us that are homeschooling now by choice, not by circumstance, but by choice. And we will be happy to share our experiences,
Yes.
direct you to various different resources. So thank you again, and give your website one more time.
Okay, so it's Natalie-Mack, Natalie- and then MACK.com, or the military is militaryhomeschoolers.org.
Okay, so you gave us the nonprofit and your
And the
for-profit.
LLC, right?
Now,
Exactly.
do you have anything else dealing with the chaplain service or anything like that?
No, just all the socials and everything.
Okay.
Just find me. I'm
All
out
right.
there.
All right, you guys. So make sure to follow her on all social media platforms, and also
Thank
reach
you.
out if you're a military family or even a homeschooler. Because I mean,
Yeah,
homeschooling
sir.
is homeschooling.
Yeah, homeschool. My first outreach was to the Black homeschool community.
Yeah.
So I'm Black first. Military is my lifestyle per se, but I'm Black first. So reach out, whatever you are, and it doesn't matter. I'm here to support, definitely.
Yes. So if no one told you today that you matter, that you are important, that you are loved, I'm going to tell you that you matter and you are important, and I love you. So until next time, what do I want you to do? I want you to keep smiling and tune in next week, same time, same place, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Welcome to CTR Media Network, where we're revolutionizing the podcasting landscape. Are you an entrepreneur or podcaster searching for a platform to amplify your voice and message? Do you desire a way to establish yourself as the go-to authority in your niche without breaking the bank? Podcasters, are you on the hunt for a platform that not only offers unwavering support but also provides expert podcast coaching, robust podcast promotion strategies, and invaluable insights into podcast monetization, all while ensuring you retain complete ownership of your content? Look no further. At CTR Media Network, we've got you covered. We have helped countless entrepreneurs and podcasters reach their goals over a period of time. At CTR Media Network, we're dedicated to nurturing both you and your brand. We specialize in helping podcasters and entrepreneurs grow. We're here to help you maximize your visibility and market share both online and offline. Our diverse podcast network spans across social media, 24/7 streaming online TV, Roku TV, radio, media outlets, podcasting platforms, and more, reaching an impressive 350 million households. But beyond numbers, we prioritize care, education, and assistance in realizing your dreams of making a positive impact on the world. Join us in this mission by allowing us to provide our platform for you to share your compelling podcast shows, engaging interviews, standout products, services, and impactful advertisements. Experience the difference with CTR Media Network, the network that genuinely cares about you, your journey, and treat you like family.